Winston Churchill, his name is synonymous with courage and resilience during World War II. As Prime Minister of Britain, he stood firm against the Nazi threat and became a symbol of Allied resolve. But Churchill's role in the war was far more complex and multifaceted than his famous speeches suggest.
We are in a very different position from that we were in 10 weeks ago. We are far stronger than we were 10 weeks ago.
In this video, we'll explore his significant contributions and controversial decisions throughout the conflict. Churchill was more than just a figurehead. He was a driving force behind key strategies and decisions that shaped the course of the war. From rallying the British people to forging critical alliances, his impact was profound. Let's dive into his role in World War II, examining the key phases of his leadership and strategic influence.
From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent. Yesterday morning at 2:41 a.m. at General Eisenhower's headquarters, General Jodl, the representative of the German High Command. If not, we shall profit to the full by the time at our disposal.
Winston Churchill's rise to power was both dramatic and pivotal. Appointed Prime Minister in May 1940, Churchill faced a Britain on the brink of disaster. The early days of his tenure were marked by a series of intense crises. In May 1940, Britain was reeling from the effects of the German Blitzkrieg. The British Expeditionary Force, alongside French troops, was trapped in Dunkirk. The situation was dire, with the German army advancing rapidly across Europe. It was in this moment of peril that Churchill's leadership would be tested. His speeches during this time were not just motivational, they were a call to action. His famous lines, "We shall fight on the beaches," and "Their finest hour," rallied a nation facing the darkest hour of its history.
We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty. So bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
Churchill's speeches were crafted to resonate with both the military and the public. His ability to convey resolve and optimism in the face of overwhelming odds was crucial. He understood that Britain needed more than just military strategy. It needed a unifying vision and a sense of purpose. His speeches were broadcasted over radio and covered extensively by the press, ensuring that his messages reached every corner of the nation. Churchill's speeches also served a strategic purpose. By portraying the fight against Nazi Germany as a noble and essential struggle, he bolstered public morale and solidified national unity. This was crucial for maintaining support for the war effort, especially as the early stages of the conflict saw several setbacks for the Allies. As Churchill's leadership solidified, he faced several crucial decisions. The decision to prioritize the defense of Britain rather than seeking an immediate counter-offensive against Germany was a strategic gamble. Churchill's focus was on bolstering the Royal Air Force and preparing for a potential invasion, which he aptly named Operation Sea Lion. Churchill's decision to focus on Britain's air defenses was influenced by the Battle of Britain, where the Royal Air Force successfully repelled the German Luftwaffe. This victory was not only a turning point in the war, but also a testament to Churchill's leadership. His faith in the RAF's capabilities and his strategic decision to invest heavily in air defenses proved crucial. Churchill also worked on strengthening Britain's position in the international arena. His efforts to secure aid and support from the United States were a significant part of his early strategy. Although the US had not yet entered the war, Churchill's diplomacy laid the groundwork for future collaboration. As the war progressed, Churchill recognized that Britain could not stand alone against the Axis powers. Building and maintaining alliances became a central focus of his strategy. The most significant of these alliances was with the United States. Churchill's relationship with President Franklin D. Roosevelt was one of the war's most important diplomatic partnerships. Their collaboration began long before the US entered the conflict. Churchill and Roosevelt met aboard the HMS Prince of Wales and the USS Augusta to discuss their shared goals and strategies. This meeting led to the Atlantic Charter, a pivotal document outlining the principles for the post-war world and the goals of the Allied powers. The Atlantic Charter was a significant milestone in Allied diplomacy. It set forth common principles, including the right of all peoples to self-determination and the establishment of a system of international security. This document helped to solidify the partnership between Britain and the United States and laid the groundwork for future international cooperation. Churchill's diplomacy extended beyond the United States. He also worked to strengthen ties with the Soviet Union. Despite ideological differences, his relationship with Soviet leader Joseph Stalin was complex but crucial. The Tehran Conference in 1943, where Churchill, Roosevelt, and Stalin met to plan the next phase of the war, was a testament to Churchill's ability to navigate these challenging alliances. Churchill's ability to forge strong relationships with both the US and the USSR was critical for the Allied war effort. His diplomatic skills ensured that the Allies presented a united front against the Axis powers. This unity was essential for coordinating military strategies and resource allocation. Churchill's efforts also included securing material support for Britain. The Lend-Lease Act, passed by the U.S. Congress in 1941, allowed Britain and other Allied nations to receive military aid and supplies. Churchill's advocacy for this support was a key factor in sustaining Britain's war effort. Churchill's role extended beyond speeches and diplomacy. He was deeply involved in military strategy and decision-making. His strategic choices had a profound impact on the course of the war. One of Churchill's notable contributions was his emphasis on the importance of the North Africa campaign. Churchill believed that defeating Axis forces in North Africa would pave the way for further victories and open the Mediterranean to Allied operations. The successful campaigns in North Africa, including the Battle of El Alamein, were crucial in shifting the balance of power in the Mediterranean. The North Africa campaign was a turning point in the war. Under Churchill's leadership, Britain and its allies managed to push back Axis forces led by General Erwin Rommel. The victories in North Africa provided a morale boost for the Allies and set the stage for the invasion of Italy. Churchill's decisions also extended to the planning of the Italian campaign. The invasion of Sicily and then mainland Italy was a significant operation. Churchill believed that attacking Italy would weaken the Axis powers and provide a platform for launching further attacks into Europe. Churchill's strategy regarding the Italian campaign was not without controversy. The campaign was costly and faced significant challenges. Critics argue that the resources spent on Italy could have been used elsewhere, but Churchill's intent was to apply pressure on Axis forces from multiple fronts and prevent them from concentrating their resources. Churchill's involvement in strategic planning was also evident in the discussions surrounding the D-Day invasion. While the exact details of the invasion plan were developed by military leaders, Churchill's strategic vision and support were crucial in ensuring that the operation was executed successfully. By 1944, the Allied forces were preparing for a major offensive in Western Europe. Churchill's focus was on ensuring that the Allies maintained their momentum and achieved a decisive victory. The successful landings on D-Day in June 1944 marked a turning point in the war, leading to the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi control. Churchill's leadership during the final stages of the war was characterized by his commitment to achieving unconditional surrender from the Axis powers. His focus was on maintaining Allied unity and ensuring that the post-war world was shaped in a way that would prevent future conflicts. Churchill's vision for the post-war world included the establishment of the United Nations, an international organization aimed at promoting peace and security. His speeches and diplomacy helped to shape the framework for the United Nations and its role in the global order. Churchill's post-war vision also included addressing the emerging Cold War tensions. His famous Iron Curtain speech in 1946 highlighted the divide between the Western democracies and the Soviet bloc, setting the stage for the Cold War era.
From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent.
His insights into the changing geopolitical landscape demonstrated his continued influence in global affairs even after the war. Churchill's post-war contributions extended to rebuilding Europe and fostering international cooperation. His efforts to promote economic recovery and political stability were integral to the reconstruction of Europe and the establishment of a new international order. Winston Churchill's impact on World War II and the post-war world is undeniable. His leadership, strategic decisions, and diplomatic efforts played a crucial role in shaping the outcome of the conflict and the future of international relations. Churchill's legacy is a blend of triumph and controversy. His ability to inspire and lead during the darkest days of the war remains a testament to his resilience and strategic acumen. However, his decisions and policies were not without criticism. His approach to war, diplomacy, and post-war planning reflects both his strengths and limitations as a leader. Churchill's legacy is complex and multifaceted. On one hand, he is celebrated for his role in rallying Britain and the Allies against the Axis powers. His speeches and leadership were instrumental in maintaining morale and unity. On the other hand, his decisions, such as those concerning the North Africa and Italian campaigns, have been subject to scrutiny and debate. Churchill's impact on the post-war world is also significant. His role in founding the United Nations and addressing the Cold War tensions underscores his continued influence on global affairs. His vision for a more cooperative and peaceful world reflected his understanding of the importance of international collaboration. Churchill's contributions to history are remembered in various ways. His speeches and writings continue to be studied for their rhetorical power and historical significance. His role in World War II is a subject of extensive research and analysis, highlighting the complexities of leadership during wartime. Churchill's legacy is also commemorated through various memorials and honors. His impact on history is celebrated through museums, books, and films that explore his life and contributions. His role in shaping the 20th century remains a significant part of historical discourse. Winston Churchill's role in World War II was marked by his extraordinary leadership, strategic insight, and diplomatic skills. His contributions were pivotal in securing Allied victory and shaping the post-war world. Thank you for watching. If you found this in-depth look at Churchill's role in World War II insightful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration of history's most fascinating figures. Until next time, remember, history is full of stories waiting to be told.